Hello, everyone. My name is Andres Herrera. And with my classmates Lisette Paola Guerrero and Daisy Giovanna Fonseca, we will present our theory analysis report for the subject Foreign Language Acquisition and Learning. To begin, I would like to tell you what this presentation is going to be about. As the title said, we are going to focus on a theory analysis report, but the ones we found key for the learning scenario we observed the previous task. The educational problem we found during this session we analyzed was the limited vocabulary to participate in the class, as well as the lack of participation in the chat or with microphone. So we want to propose some key theories to address this problem. The theories I propose are Krashen's five theories: natural order, monitor hypothesis, the affective filter hypothesis, the acquisition learning hypothesis, and the input hypothesis. I'll provide a small example so you are familiar with this. The natural order says that each language learning follows a specific order. So in the case of English, we follow greetings, basic verbs, then the tenses, and so on. That's the natural order. The monitor hypothesis is the one that says that thanks to the conscious learning we have, like the grammar knowledge, can help us enhance the language we acquire unconsciously. So expressions we listen around or different phrases. So one example could be when I omit the third person s on the verb and then I remember I have to add it and then I say, oh, third person goes with s and then I add it. The acquisition learning theory is the one that differentiates the learning we acquire formally at a school and the learning we acquire naturally by listening or by having experiences in our life. The input hypothesis, an example for this is when we are learning something, but we add a little challenge. So we make it a little more difficult so that the language is more meaningful. And finally, the affective filter hypothesis. When I feel very, very scared or stressed or have strong emotions, my filter is up. It means that I won't learn very easy. On the other hand, when I am learning in a low filter, it means that I am learning in a nice environment, in a comfortable environment. So these are the theories I propose.
Hi, my name is Daisy Fonseca, and I speak about that Vygotsky. Uh, Let Vygotsky proposed that learning is a social and cultural process in which people learn primarily through interaction with others and with their environment. According to Vygotsky, learning occurs through interactions with people such as family, friends, and teachers. Then knowledge is internalized and interpreted individually. In this theory, learning is a social process. Knowledge is constructed through dialogue and collaborations. The zones of proximal development shows what students can achieve with support. Teachers and peers provide support in examples, guide support. This theory supports interactive and collaborative learning, especially in subjects like English, where communication is fundamental. Vygotsky understood learning is an activity, social, and guide process where interactions and support are fundamental to developing thought.
Okay, so now we move on to step 5, in which we are going to discuss the questions provided by the guide. So let's discuss. The first question says, what innovative English learning activity would you propose to address the problem? I would propose Maybe since the subject is adjectives, I would like to propose a guess who game, like the one that the board game that exists, where we have to guess what character I picked based on the adjectives that I see there, making questions. For this, I would answering the second question, what digital tools or resources would you use for this activity? I would use Genially because it allows you, I would make a presentation in which I provide a grid with different characters my students can pick, and another one with explanation of what type of adjectives we can find there. So we can discuss as a group and learn the different adjectives seen for this activity, proposed for this activity, sorry. And the third question, how would you assess the impact of this activity on language learning? I would use the breakout rooms. So all students are allowed to participate. I would whether put them into pairs or in group of three, and at the end of the I would give them about 5 minutes so all have a turn to interact, and at the end I would ask them how did they feel. I would make them specific questions to so the so I can make sure they acquire the vocabulary well, and if the participation is high, then I think a great job was done.
Um, for the first questions, I propose simple vocabulary challenger, whereas the vocabulary can be presented with visual aids, such as videos and images. And then they are given a letter and must say in 1 minute the word they can remember that begin with the one letter. Mm, for the second questions, to support this activity, I would use Padlet or Canva, for example. And for third questions, students reflect on questions like what new words did I learn, or did I feel more confident speaking English? And I peer feedback, for example, students give simple feedbacks to classmates. In this case, they can be I like your pronunciations or I like your vocabulary. Observation class, English A2. Uh, what do you look like? Um, In the sessions, we observed a little participations, what observed from the students. The teachers call for participations throughout questions, names, to encourage active participations environment. In these sections, we observe a lack of participations. Little participation is up. The teacher attempted to motivate students by asking direct questions and encourage speaking activities, strategies we are used to encourage. Um, la problematic we was observed uh, in class, a lack of students' participations was observed. This could be due to various reasons or cause. For example, limited vocabulary, lack of confidence to speak, or feeling insecure about participating in this class. Although this problem wasn't present in all students, no, uh, mm, because students participated with the class, but not much. Um, the low levels participations during the sessions what clients is evident.
Some conclusions and reflections from this exercise. We learned that the classroom observation helps us identify problems that a student needs as well. Additionally, we discovered and made some research on theories that could better guide these teaching strategies. Um, Also, we can conclude that the theories of Lev Vygotsky and Stephen Krashen helped us understand the problem in the class, but further than that, it allowed us to understand how to provide a solution to this. My reflection is that, well, the reflection from me and the whole group is that as future teachers, we promote the participation, we reduce the students' fear, and we use the interactive activities, the collaborative activities, and all the things we have at hand to make sure our classes are engaging, to make sure our classes are great, and our students understand the way it is. These are the references we used. Thank you very much for watching until here. I appreciate you watched the video and I hope you liked it. Have a good one.